It's a random one I want to throw in here. Death is not a mystery. This is a controversial take, but you can't disprove me, so good luck. Here's what we know about death. The one thing we're sure of when it comes to people who have died, that we've observed from the outside, is their brain is no longer conscious. Right? We've never had a dead person who's conscious by any measurement that we have. We've had no evidence whatsoever, and we can now do brain scans and everything that shows any activity in a dead brain. So, one thing we do know about death is that you're not conscious, or your brain is not conscious. So what do we know about being unconscious? Have you ever been under general anesthetic? Have you ever been blind drunk? Have you ever been so exhausted and slept so deeply that you weren't aware of having slept? The first time I went through general anesthetic, I've been through it twice. The first time I had my wisdom teeth out and they put me under, and then suddenly I'm waking up in this chair. And at some point in between, somebody taken four of my teeth out of my head and done all sorts of crazy shit and moved my body around and everything. There was no memory of any kind, not even a sense of my existence between when they gave me the gas and when I woke up. It wasn't that, like when you have a sleep in bed, a normal sleep, and there's still brain activity, like you wake up and you're kind of aware that time has passed. You got that kind of body sense. Maybe you had dreams. There's like a sense that like, it all that a nighttime has passed. You don't get wake up thinking like that was a second. So there's sleeps like that as well, deep sleeps. But with general anesthetic, it's like nothing took place in between. There's no sense of time passing. There's just you were there and then you emerge as this person in a chair. It's almost like a rebirth. It's like you're starting over again, not like you went out and came back in. There's nowhere you went out to. When I had that experience, it was actually kind of nice because I thought, you know what? That's what death would be like. Without the bit where you arrive again in the chair, there'd just be the bit where you go under, which was actually a really wonderful feeling. Just a total relaxation. Now, I'm not saying that dying is a wonderful feeling, but being dead is no feeling at all. It's a complete absence of experience. You won't experience death. There's nothing to fear there. You won't know that you're dead. You won't remember dying. You won't know that people are grieving you. You won't be. It will be the same as when you're under general anesthetic. Like next time you go into general, you get blackout drunk. Wake up and go, okay, what happened while I was out? And the answer will be nothing. Next dark truth, altruism is not possible. So altruism is to give without wanting anything in return, with no reward for yourself. And I just don't see any evidence for that. It doesn't make sense. In fact, the only thing that somebody could do without anything for themselves would be nothing at all. There's no such thing as an unmotivated action. You're consciously not always aware of why you're doing. In fact, you're very rarely aware of why you're really doing stuff. But the brain always has a reason. Nobody is behaving randomly or erratically unless there is brain damage. The brain always has a reason for what it's doing. And that reason is always your brain's best guess at how to achieve its goals. And I think that actually the brain achieves its goals frequently. It's just it has different goals to what you want it to have. Like I mentioned in an earlier part, your brain's trying to keep things repeating and familiar, and it achieves that goal quite frequently. Now, your goal of being successful might not achieve very often at all, or your goal of having a healthy relationship might never happen, but your goal of repeating yourself, your goal of doing this shit all the time, you're crushing that. And so the idea that you could give without any sense of reward, it's possible that you could not have a sense of reward, what we call self-sacrifice. But then if you like to see yourself as a self-sacrificing person, and it's aligned with your morality to be self-sacrificing, then being that person is the reward. You're being the person you wish to be, so you still win. So you got to let go of the idea of pure giving because it's not possible, and it actually ends up becoming a justification for quite manipulative people-pleasing behavior. You can tell yourself, I'm just being altruistic, when actually you're just trying to control people to get your needs met. But by telling yourself you're altruistic, you can discard what you're getting out of it. Self-sacrifice is a great way of doing it. A lot of people like to be the sacrificial plow horse. They like to be the martyr who gets hurt. They want to be seen as that. They want to feel that. They want other people to know them as that. And so they're not sacrificing at all. This is how they get their needs met. They're winning, quite often by imposing their help on other people, which means the other person's actually losing. So embrace self-centered giving. Okay, you can enhance lives for you and others simultaneously. You don't have to miss out for them to win. That's a weird standard. Why don't we just have everyone have a good time? Okay. So if you're going to help someone, make sure you do it in a way that you enjoy, win-win, and that they actually want this help, and that it is actually what's best for them to achieve their goals, that they wouldn't be better off doing it themselves. You can enhance people's lives without martyrdom.